where do I stand with the review of Under Your Care? This is a hot potato, isn't it? Okay, am I for or against prescription-only veterinary medications without a physical exam? So the thing is, we're very privileged, okay? The Veterinary Surgeons Act, gives us the right to diagnose, prescribe, undertake, medical treatment, surgical intervention, procedures, whatever it is. That's what it is. It allows us to do that, okay? These rights come with like a group of responsibility, shall I say, and we need to maintain 5 principles, okay? So these principles include professional competence, honesty and integrity, independence and impartiality, and then the confidence, of the client. So client confidentiality, the trust. But the 5th one, I think, is the most important one, which is professional accountability, okay? And this is where Under Our Care really goes to our professional accountability. So I think it's so important that we appreciate that there is the vet, the client, the patient. So it's a triangle, okay? So we basically are all 3 of us working together to make sure that we're looking after these animals, okay? So, it might be, something that requires something quick or something more complicated. It doesn't actually matter what the medication is, because sometimes people try make the actual medication not mean so much. And this is where the gray line starts becoming a problem. Okay, I feel that we are responsible, okay, for prescribing. It must always, always have a clinical assessment associated with it. Right now, currently, vets must first carry out a clinical assessment of the animal and establish the animal as being, under their care, or group of animals, whichever one it is. I don't think that should change. Okay. Yes, we've got remote prescribing at the moment, and yes, we can assess animals remotely, but there is nothing like having that client relationship, that patient knowledge to make sure that you make the right clinical judgment. Okay. And yes, the veterinary judgment still belongs to you. However, I still feel that Under Our Care still needs to mean under our care. Okay. And we can use different words about it, and we can have this vet client patient relationship. Whatever wording we come up with, it needs to be kind of immune is a strong word, but we need to make sure that it can't be abused in the future, and it's mobile in the sense that it'll help now and it'll help in the future. Okay, so I honestly think that we must maintain in line with legislation, whatever the legislation says at the time. We need to keep up with that, and obviously the wider public interest, because we can't say that we are doing that in the public interest if it's just to ensure that it's just for a short space of time. It should always be in the public interest. I don't think Schedule 2 and Schedule 3 drugs should ever be prescribed without seeing the animal, and definitely not the higher category of the antimicrobials. So yeah, that's a no from me. I don't think these drugs should ever be prescribed. And I'm talking anything from a harmless wormer to a scheduled drug. I think they have been decided as to where they fall, and if they're a prescription only veterinary medication, we shouldn't blur the line and make exceptions for some. I think it's a no. I just think it's a no.